Good morning, Chairperson Pinto and staff. My name is Dawn Dalton. I am the Executive Director for the DC Coalition Against Domestic Violence, otherwise known as DCCADV. Intimate partner violence continues to be a significant safety and public health concern for DC residents of all ages. To that point, we know that 39% of women and 25.5% of men living in DC have experienced sexual violence, physical violence, stalking, or a combination thereof perpetrated by an intimate partner. OVSJG is the primary DC government funding body of domestic violence services in the district. Without a strong, healthy relationship with this office, the clients served by members of DCCADV and many others struggling who have yet to be connected to resources will be pushed further away from the support they need and deserve. During the last year, we have appreciated increased communication and responsiveness working with Director Porter and her team, and we look forward to continuing to work with OVSJG to improve consistency across grant managers and grant awards. However, this being said, the grant cycle has also raised concern within our membership because they can no longer be confident that the OVSJG funded services they provide will be sustainable for their clients to access. As you know, and mentioned in your opening statements, in the FY24 grant agreements, OVSJG added a new clause stating that issued grants can be revoked at any time during the year without cause with 30 days notice. Grantees were required to agree to this provision despite the objections from the field. We join with our fellow OVSJG grantees in expressing the deepest concern over this new no-cause termination provision. Our organization, like most other DCCADV member programs, rely on the funding that we receive from OVSJG to provide critical, life-saving services to survivors of domestic violence. It is not possible to plan annual budgets, hire and retain dedicated staff, and provide uninterrupted services to survivors, knowing that one of your main funders can pull funding mid-year with very little notice. We ask that the council take immediate action to have the clause removed from OVSJG agreements or nullified so that we can focus on continuing to provide uninterrupted services to survivors. Similarly, we would like to add our voice to the issue of transparency that you also noted that have been raised by our membership and the broader victim assistance network of OVSJG grantees. The mayor's budget has not historically included enough information for grantees or the council to identify how OVSJG will allocate its pool of funds to support the myriad of victim service needs, such as the percentage that will fund domestic violence services in the upcoming year, or the percentage that will fund human trafficking, sexual violence services, etc. OVSJG's compliance with all of the provisions of the Transparency Act of 2022 will enable the victim services community to better coordinate efforts and meet the needs of all victims of violence and maintain the highest quality of services for survivors. Each year, DCCADV and our member programs are tasked with meeting the needs of increasing numbers of survivors without sufficient funding. We were pleased in FY24 to see funding increased or kept level for many services on which survivors rely. However, we are concerned year after year as we face cuts to critical services and funding that does not meet the demand. In addition, OVSJG will not fund primary prevention for domestic violence. Partner violence in adolescence can be a precursor or risk factor for partner violence in adulthood. Primary prevention strategies are key to ending partner violence in adolescence and adulthood and protecting people from its effects. A comprehensive approach that simultaneously targets multiple risk and protective factors is critical to having a broad and sustained impact on intimate partner violence and other interconnected forms of violence like bullying, community violence, suicide, and others. It's all connected. As the main DC government funder of domestic violence services, if OVSJG will not fund domestic violence primary prevention efforts, it is unsurprising that other agencies have not stepped in to fill that gap. In the remaining seconds of my time this morning, I would like to say we have a budget platform for FY25 in the ask of $30 million over FY24 funding. We also stand in solidarity with the Victim Assistance Network and the Fair Budget Coalition to meet the broad array of service needs within district residents. And I'm always open to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you so much.